Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan arrived in New Delhi for a brief official visit at the invitation of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Prime Minister himself went to the airport to welcome UAE President, a gesture that reflects the depth of the relationship between India and the UAE and the personal rapport shared by two leaders. This visit came at an important moment in global diplomacy with shifting geopolitical dynamics in West Asia, including tensions in the Gulf region and ongoing instability in areas such as Yemen and Gaza. Although brief, the visit is being seen as a reaffirmation of the comprehensive strategic partnership between the two countries. During his short stay, Sheikh Mohammed held bilateral talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, focusing on several key areas, namely economic cooperation, including trade, infrastructure, investment, and technology, strategic defense and security collaboration to enhance stability in the region, energy partnerships, particularly long-term arrangements covering crude and LNG supplies, regional geopolitics, including developments in West Asia where both countries have stakes. The Ministry of External Affairs has described the visit as an opportunity for both leaders to chart new frontiers in the India-UAE strategic partnership. This is Sheikh Mohammed's third official visit to India as president and his fifth over the past decade, highlighting the sustained momentum in diplomatic exchange between the two capitals. India and UAE have developed a robust partnership over recent years encompassing trade, investment, energy, people-to-people ties and defense cooperation. Bilateral trade has surged in recent years with non-applied trade, especially growing strong. The two countries are among each other's top trading partners, and key frameworks such as the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, which is known as CEPA, signed in 2022, have further facilitated economic integration. The scale of ties is extraordinary. The UAE hosts more than 4.3 million Indian expatriates, making Indians one of the largest expatriate communities in Gulf and a cornerstone of people-to-people connections. Trade figures underscores this. UAE ranks as one of India's largest trading partners with multi-billion-dollar exchange in goods and services. India's energy security and supply arrangements with UAE are also central to this partnership, especially given the Gulf's pivotal role in global energy markets. The visit also unfolds against a backdrop of shifting regional dynamics in the Gulf. Relations between UAE and neighboring Saudi Arabia have faced strains, particularly over issues such as Yemen and involving alliances in West Asia, making India's diplomatic space neutrally increasingly significant. India's ability to maintain strong ties with major Gulf powers, including both Saudi Arabia and the UAE, enhances New Delhi's role as stabilizing diplomatic force in the region. In addition to state-to-state relations, India and the UAE have collaborated on initiatives such as India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor, an ambitious project aimed at enhancing connectivity and trade between Asia, the Gulf and Europe. Such initiatives reflect a shared vision of economic integration and stability. I'm joined by Ambassador Mahesh Sachdev, former Indian diplomat and founder President UAE India Business Council, and I'm also joined by Major General Rajan Kochar, defense and geopolitical expert. Thank you so much. My first question is to Ambassador Sachdev. Sir, your opening comments on short visit, but people are saying it's very, very significant. Can you, sir, please break it down for our viewers, the significance of this meeting that took place in New Delhi?
Thank you for having me. I'm pleased to be on TV9. In diplomatic adage, shorter the visit, more significant it is. Paradoxically, UAE's official news agency till 2 hours ago didn't have any word, even in Arabic, about their president visiting India. So the visit was deliberately made low-key and was perhaps focused on one or two major salient points which required personal sort of discussion with Indian Prime Minister. I'm not going to speculate, but you have already mentioned economic ties being very robust. Secondly, the evolving strategic space in and around UAE, in the Gulf. Iran has had very serious bout of internal unrest, which had at one point involved real prospects of uh, President Trump's intervention on the side of the protesters. Uh, Yemen has had serious spat for the first time between UAE and Saudi Arabia, which came to Saudi aerial action against UAE supplying ship in Mukalla port last month. Uh, the space around Gaza settlement has not got any better. The phase one was not fully implemented, with Hamas still refusing to disarm.
Okay.
When they had phase two started, and now we have developments of various kind, including Mr. Trump's so-called peace board, and so on and so forth. So all that creates a certain ambience in which perhaps UAE President felt the need to consult with Indian Prime Minister over something specific.
Let me, sir, read out what Prime Minister posted, and that is the question to General Kocher. So let me be verbatim, because it was a 2-hour visit. It says, we went to the airport to welcome my brother, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the UAE. His visit illustrates the importance he attaches to a strong India-UAE friendship. Looking forward to our discussions. The Ministry of External Affairs said the visit, held at Prime Minister Modi's invitation, his invitation, builds on recent high-level exchanges and marks Sheikh Mohammed's third official visit as UAE President, reflecting sustained India-UAE engagement. So my question, without being frivolous or completely speculative, the fact that this meeting took place at the initiative of Prime Minister Modi, a lot of people are saying that perhaps there was a message which has to be passed through Mohammed bin Nahyan. That is why that meeting had to be done one-to-one. And it was reciprocated. He came, meeting happened, and he went back.
Karthikeyan, I think in diplomacy, when a president of a particular country is going to actually visit you, so I think it is customary that invitation will come from our Prime Minister's side. So I think to draw too many conclusions from the fact that the Prime Minister invited him, I think that's a diplomacy protocol which was followed, because a president of another country is visiting you, and obviously he is going to come on your invitation. But the larger aspect is, this is not a normal diplomatic visit, because a prime minister coming, or a president of a country coming for 2 hours, shows a kind of a urgency is there, and urgency on part of both the countries to meet, or the heads of states to meet. And I would suggest that this urgency is from the chaos what is happening in West Asia as of now. It's not one event. It's a shadow of a large number of events. The first I will take is the Iran and the USA issue, and why I am bringing out in priority one is because the United States has a military base in UAE, and the purpose of that military base was to protect the UAE from any external threat. And I think a give and take was there in this particular deal with the US. Now, what happens is, when the Iran threat was looming large, the US have actually vacated their troops from this airbase. And it is sending a very strong signal to the UAE that they are very, very vulnerable, because in times of these war looming large in the Middle East, the UAE needs a partner who is trustworthy, who does not have any linkages attached, and who will deliver in real time. And that is why I would lay out the three priority areas of this visit. First is the maritime aspect, because some kind of protection in the Gulf of Eden, in the Red Sea, in all those supply chain routes which affect India also. Because have you seen $100 billion of trade on both sides, and most of it is energy trade. So India is also concerned that any kind of volatility in this area is liable to hurt the interest of India also. So maritime is one issue. Second is because he's coming here to ink, because this is what I heard, that certain pending agreements had to be finalized. The second one is on defense cooperation. I would like to highlight here is about loitering ammunitions. The 155 ammunition here. I would Pinaka gun system is also on the anvil. The Akash missile
Okay.
system is also being discussed. So these are areas which are extremely important to the UAE now, because they don't have any dearth of money. They can buy our equipment.
Or is it just, is it also about I'll come back to you, sir, Ambassador Sajdev, is it also about a projection? For example, if you look at what Asim Munir has been doing, there was a defense pact which the Pakistan has got with Saudi Arabia. People say it's useless, but the fact is it's a defense pact on paper. The proximity now Pakistan enjoys with Turkey. At least if we look at these pictures, it just tells me, as a viewer, that we also have a foothold in West Asia. We also enjoy a proximate relationship with a person who is taken very seriously there. Isn't it, Ambassador Sajdev?
It's not a zero-sum game. India has the substantive ties with other sides as well. Chabahar port in Iran is something that we have pursued doggedly against American restrictions. Saudi Arabia is fourth largest trading partner immediately after UAE, for example. And Indian companies have major projects in that country, taking advantage of Vision 2030 of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. And I think that there would be ill-advised speculation to talk about what exactly is the nature of the visit. I think economically it can be
Okay,
a
let
big
me,
ticket away.
for our viewers, sir. Okay, I completely agree with you, sir, that speculation is incorrect. वो कहते हैं ना कि फिर ऐसी क्या बात है जो फोन पे नहीं हो सकती, आपको दिल्ली में 2 घंटे बिताने पर ही करनी पड़ेगी. That is the question a common person would ask. ऐसी क्या बात है जिसके लिए आना पड़ा आपको? Let me put it very simply.
Gee, I think that is what is $1 million question, and I believe that UAE delegation comprises of their defense minister, their foreign minister, and certain other biggish personalities. So that sort of tilt us to believing that it is something to do with defense, something to do with economic cooperation. UAE had promised when Prime Minister visited for the first time in 2014, I think, that they would have $100 billion invested in India. That is yet to be fully carried out. The oil market is in a disarray. Next year or this year itself, there's going to be huge oversupply of crude, and UAE might be interested in ensuring that India, the third largest and the most growing market for crude in the world, stays with it as Russia is weaned away.
Okay, General Kocher, the drift which I get from both you gentlemen is that the bilateral component is far more stronger than other multilateral issues. In context of bilateral component, and especially in context of strategic affairs and military, what do you think would have underpinned?
You see, Karthikeyan, what I can actually gather, because see, look at the urgency today. And UAE is feeling a vulnerability in West Asia today. You rightly actually mentioned the Pakistan-Saudi Arabia pact. But the Yemen issue is also weighing on their minds because of the UAE and the Saudi fight actually going there. US not standing by UAE in the way UAE would like it to stand. Gaza issue is also there, and things are not very comfortable in Syria also. So, and of course, Iran is there. So, all these issues, I think, cannot be talked on the phone. You would like to come and get some kind of a reassurance from India, because look at the naval footprints India has in that actually region. I would like to highlight that, because a great maritime presence India has. Desert cyclone, we have carried out joint exercises. And I think UAE would like to have more joint exercises with India in this region to show that presence of the Indian forces is there, and to safeguard the UAE interest also in this region is extremely important, because a person of the stature of President of the UAE coming to India for 2 hours cannot be underplayed, because it's extremely important and a strategic visit, I would say that, because in spite of agreements which are there existing, minister talks are also going on. Jaishankar also visited last month, and a long sort of a comprehensive discussion has taken place. So I feel that it's a culmination to all that, all that geopolitics which is happening in the Gulf, and a kind of a reassurance from India's side to stand by UAE.